Hey everybody, Chris here. So Bitcoin hit a new all-time high last night while we were live. That was certainly exciting to watch. A lot of people are wondering, oh Chris, why aren't you just talking about Dogecoin? Well, Bitcoin hitting a new all-time high is good for the whole crypto market. So that applies to Doge and others as well. So we can all be excited and we can celebrate. But then what about ETH's new all-time high? And when will Doge hit an all-time high? We're going to talk about that in this video. Please be sure to subscribe to my channel. Hit that little notification bell too. You can be notified when the videos come out, as well as when I do live streams. My next live stream Thursday afternoon, we might be on an ETH watch. That's right. But checking in on Doge as well. We do have a little pullback right now, as I had predicted. So let's get into it. Let me show you the charts in the news. I'll show you what I'm looking at. We start here looking at the current Dogecoin chart, and we just dropped right below 24 cents here to 23.7. So after yesterday's big run on Bitcoin, and ETH close to all-time high, Doge went on a run over 25 cents and then sold off early this morning, and we still have weakness in the market. As we look at Bitcoin, this is what we watched during the live streams, this big run from Bitcoin. Again, earlier, out of the green box that Bitcoin was trading in, and then the big move up, and we have a new all-time high, 124,500. So that is cool. Now, when we hit the new all-time high, that was 123.2, so that was right here. And then after the live stream, as I had predicted, Bitcoin went on another higher run to take out more liquidity, right? More shorts were taken out. I was predicting 125. It made it to 124,500. So that was there. And then I said, and then it'll probably pull back to 122, 121, which it did. And then it was this morning trading in a new green box that I tracked when I got up. And then we've gone a little bit below that. Again, this is all flushing out more leveraged long trades that were being created while Bitcoin was moving up. And ETH, well, ETH is holding pretty well. Here's the all-time high is up here in yellow. That's 48.72 is the all-time high. And ETH is just teasing us right now. So we will be watching this on the Thursday afternoon live stream. So join in on that. The other big news to get into right now is ADA. So ADA did come over $1 early this morning and actually flipped Tron a little bit in total market cap, but has since retraced a bit as well. So that so Tron is back over Cardano, but Cardano had flipped Tron into 9th place briefly this morning, and so we'll be watching that as well. And here's Doge up in 8th, still holding strong. And then one other bit of news is BNB. Yes, BNB hit a new all-time high this morning at 869.69. Yes, 869.69 for BNB, a new all-time high. So we got a lot of all-time highs, right? Well, what about ETH, right? And then what about Doge? That's what you want to hear about, right? So let's get into it. Bitcoin hits new all-time high. Above 124K, becomes 5th largest global asset. That's right, cryptocurrency surpasses Google's market cap. ETF inflows, Fed rate cut expectations, right, all fueling this rally. This is an August bull run that is not normal at this rate, right? And so we're going to have these pullbacks again. It's the summer of chop, as I call it, and we are going to see, these big swings happening as the summer of chop continues. ETH poised for historic bull run. Why it become the most profitable trade on ETH? And again, back in April, ETH was like dead and nobody was talking about ETH. And since then, ETH has just been building and building. We see like SBET, right? The stock SBET, right? All in on ETH. Buying ETH for its treasury. That stock's doing great. Are we going to see the same with BitOrigin and Doge? Maybe. Too soon for that to see what's going on with that. But ETH, again, could be in one of the most transformative phases in its history. Some analysts calling it the decade's top investment opportunity. So there is big things happening with ETH, particularly the regulatory shifts, such as the Genius Act, the framework for stablecoins, and guess what they're building their stablecoins? It's mostly ETH. Yeah, there's some Solana stuff being built on it. All the Solana maxis are all talking about those, but ETH is where the big money is still right now. Liquidation alert. If ETH hits a new all-time high, which is less than $150 away, $2 billion worth of shorts will get liquidated. This will send the price even higher. And that's what we saw with Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin hit a new all-time high. It pushed higher, liquidating shorts. We'll see ETH pretty much do the same thing. So that is what we'll be watching this afternoon. And then here's the heat map. And we were watching the heat map on Bitcoin as well. You know, when all of these big, long leverage trades down here, they win. ETH isn't going to come back and take all of those out. So they're going to win on their trades because of the bullishness here of the market. The market makers can't drop the price that low. So that is, congratulations for those leverage traders. They're going to win. You can't get them all, but all of the shorts, boom, 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 all the way up have been taken out. Still bullish. If the market makers dump the price to run liquidity, there are reload levels. So we're watching what happened with Bitcoin, right? It came up, hit a new all-time high, and now coming back down. Merlin Trader saying, look, Bitcoin could go to this 117,000 level, and then there's these CME gaps, right? But the CME gaps don't always need to be filled. But if so, maybe 113. And ETH the same. If ETH comes and hits a new all-time high, takes out a bunch more of those shorts, that big liquidity, could discount down and discount down lower. Again, I don't think it's going to go that low. Again, if we see 117 on Bitcoin, that would be a huge pullback at this point. And I think there's going to be a lot more buying on Bitcoin. Speaking of which, who's been buying Bitcoin? Did you guys see this? Did you guys see who's been buying Bitcoin? Yes, it was me. It was me. Last night, once it hit over 124, it's like, I need to buy some Bitcoin. And I filled my order on Robinhood, and I got 125.011. Yes. I don't even know, is this 10 sats? 0.00008 Bitcoin? I can't even count sats. I don't know how many zeros there is before that. That's what makes Bitcoin so hard, right? Is it just like, how many sats is that? How many zeros do I need to count? Dogecoin's just so much easier. Anyway, yes, I bought the top. $10 worth of Bitcoin. I bought the top. 125,000. I mean, of course, Bitcoin's price didn't even hit 125, but that's how Robinhood works, right? Their big bid and ask thing, and I just did a market order, and I got 125. So yes, do not follow my lead, everybody. This was a joke, and I'm already down like 20 cents or something on my order. 125,000. I just had to do it just to commemorate. And this was the moment, and I posted this on X as well. This was the moment during the live stream. We got that big green candle, just came right over the previous all-time high of 123.2, captured it live. That was a lot of fun. Are we going to see this with ETH? And when are we going to see that with Dogecoin? When is that going to happen with Doge? So again, pullbacks right now in Bitcoin. We're going to see what happens with ETH as well. And then, what else is going on? It's like Ali. Yeah, I mean, he's talking about MogCoin, right? It's like Ali is just losing all credibility here. He's got the same stupid kind of chart he has with Doge, and he's predicting MogCoin to come like to billions of dollars of market cap. And it's just like, come on, dude. The Hopium Post of the Day award goes to the Scalping Pro. That's Mags. I like this, Miles. It's like the Hopium Post of the Day. And he's like starting to post these, the perma-bulls on X who just like come up with these crazy charts and think that like ETH is going to go up to 8,000 like in right away. And it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. But I get it. But what can we say about Bitcoin history does not usually repeat, but often rhymes. Just like last cycle, this bull run is more gradual than the one before it. The next bear market will also be shallower than the previous one, which is what I've been saying. Doesn't mean it won't come at all, but we have a couple of months of fun to go, in my opinion. Just don't forget to take your profits on the way up. Again, we're going to be talking about that, September, October. This is going to be what we're doing. How to take some profits. It doesn't have to be all. You don't have to sell everything, right? You still want to be in the game just in case with some super cycle, extended cycle, all that. But again, kind of interesting chart, like parabolic 2017, 2021, a little more subdued, and this one in 2025 is not as steep. So kind of interesting how that expansion, right, is not as steep. What about Doge? Trader Allen says, look, if we're looking on the weekly, right, Doge is ready to launch. A ready to launch box, similar to what we had 2020 into 2021. Here we are in 2025. We have our nice, W, right? Nice W again. You can call it all the head and shoulders and all those things, whatever you want, but ready to launch. This is what we are waiting for. Doge prepping for all-time high and next leg up. Soon, $1 US won't be enough to get one Dogecoin. So, again, there's some hopium there, a little bit, and we'll look at some numbers in just a minute, what that looks like. Kev Capital is like getting close, right? Doge intensifying. That's a good one. Info comes up with this stuff, though, and I was reading through this. First, he's got the fib levels. Fine, I get it. Fib levels. How to get to, the 0.786 to 60 cents. He's got the one fib at 76. One fib, that's just where the point that you're measuring from, which would be previous all-time high, which would actually be 0.73. So I'm already, Peter Brandt may dislike fibs, just like Chris. I'm just not a fan of fibs, but some people are into it. But how about RSI? So Info's talking about RSI, and he's like, you start using the 1 week RSI, and you start looking at the history again, back where we were in 2024, right before the big run, looking at the RSI time frame, it was pointing to buy, big buy signals. And if you did that then, you caught the run up to 48 cents. So could we get a double top to 48? Does that seem likely, at least for Dogecoin this fall? Kind of interesting. And then if we look at the week RSI and where it had topped again back in March, and then we have this pullback, that next run up could be a 3x up to the 1.0 fib back to previous all-time high. So are we going to hit the all-time high because of that? I'm not so sure. RSI isn't a great indicator on its own. Like I looked, he had this link to this Dogecoin RSI scanner and tracker, and I looked at this, and this is nice, right? It gives you a nice clear RSI, together with the chart, and you can see when RSIs at different time frames are, overbought or oversold. Kind of a fair indicator, but then they give you these charts of these alerts, right? And if you had done this first alert here on August 7th as a sell alert, Dogecoin's price was 22 cents on the 7th. And so we look at that and we're like, well, if you had sold on the 7th when that alert hit, when it hit 22 cents, you would have sold right there. When that alert hit, you would have sold right there. So you would have missed the run up to 24, the run up to 25, and you would even be sitting here with the current price at 23.8, but you sold at 22.1 when the RSI gave you that sell alert, which is why you don't play these games, buying maybe with a really small part of your portfolio, but you don't want to miss out on the bigger run. Now you're probably going to have to, if you follow that, you're going to have to buy back in at a higher price and you have less coins. So that's the thing to watch out for. And finally, the other thing that's going on right now, there was this Doge OS space talking about a non-coin. And the whole non-coin thing was like, Sean brings up a really good point here. Like a non-coin, that whole thing is a new platform upon which you'll be able to create new tokens. And Sean brings up a good point, is if you create new tokens, they could be pump and dumps, and you're doing it on Dogecoin. So that's pretty tough. That's pretty tough. Now, Red Ryder's getting into it and saying, look, Doge OS, a tool set that will be open to any developer to build on, all kinds of use cases and builders. So it's a launch pad. It'll enable token creation similar to pump.fun. But yeah, that's pretty tough. And I replied to Charlotte, because Charlotte was like, look, join the Chris Pax live stream, ask, during the Q&A, come ask me questions. But this is what I said last night was, that's what I thought this Anon thing on Doge OS is going to be, a pump.fun on Dogecoin. There will most certainly be bad actors. Many people will get financially hurt buying these tokens. Best we can do is continue to educate about what's going on. So be careful out there with all of these, like, oh, this is going to 100x. And it's just like, be very careful. And especially using Dogecoin as the launch pad for these similar to what all that pump.fun and all of those scams were. It's just like, ugh. And Andy OS says, look, don't let others take advantage of you and lure you into so-called news or fake news. The entire project is barely released yet, so I recommend just following the news and the announcements from MyDoge. Don't let them shake your assets. So, again, we're going to watch what happens with the MyDoge gang and Doge OS, and we will watch all of that going forward. More news coming. For now, it looks like the pullback may be stopping here at this point, and we're going to look at this turning around for Doge, coming back up over 24 cents. We'll be watching that. We'll also be watching Bitcoin. Might be bottoming at 121 here and then moving up. And ETH, we'll be watching again. Is ETH going to make a big run today toward its new all-time high? All of that coming this afternoon. Join in on the live stream. We get the Dancing Doge as well on TradingView. Again, thank you very much, TradingView. Leave a comment below. What do you think about all this all-time high talk? Give the video a like, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. I appreciate the support. We'll see you next time.